So we should just go on yours because I'm gonna have to keep going in and out of the app. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back and we are live. I'm about to start this match. Go ahead and dive in. I'm a spectate. We got the Eagles versus the Packers. That's the Friday night game. 5 minute quarters, accelerated clock on, whatever. Who cares? It will be a prime time game, so let's go ahead and put it at prime time. Kick that off. And we're doing record predictions here. We are starting off with Dan versus Montana in week one. Let's look at the matchup here. So Dan has Jalen Hurts, Kyron Williams, Brian Robinson, AJ Brown, Rasheed Rice. He got a whole lot of good players and stuff. He's projected 126 to Montana's 120. Uh, let's see. Is that accurate projections? Let's look at some matchups here. You got anything you want to say, Dan?
Um, Not much. I don't want to be biased, because it is my team. I do think we smack Montana.
Hmm. Okay. So I think Montana has some tough matchups here. I
Yeah.
think Ayuk not practicing and then coming back against the Jets is a really tough matchup.
Right.
Mm, I
The
think he
whole
also has
Atlanta
too many
team against the
Falcons.
Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, the too many Falcons against that Pittsburgh defense. I'm not liking that either. And then he has the Pittsburgh defense he's playing. So that's just
Oh my.
counterproductive as heck. I gotta go you here, Dan. I gotta go you here.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what this manager's thinking.
Yeah, so let me go put that in my notes. We got a W for Sir Danielson in week one. And then for Montana, we have an L. All right, our next matchup.
It is Dom and Kev.
Okay, the Baltimoreans go face to face here. And Kev is actually shockingly projected for more points. Kev has not put Jonathan Brooks on the IR spot. He still has three quarterbacks, and he's still projected to outscore Dom. Why is that? Because this man Dom is going out here. Oh no Demario Douglas in the lineup. I was waiting to see the Douglas, but no Douglas.
He knows that was a bad pick.
Let's look at some of these matchups here. Hmm. I
I think
think
there's a.
Kev should change his quarterback out. Do you agree?
I do. I do think AR is the start here.
Yeah, so AR over against Houston is a better play than Burrow versus New England, in my opinion. Uh, I think Kev's running backs might be over projected. I don't know. 17 and 16 is a lot for Walker and Cook.
Either way, I would like his running backs better over Gibbs and Montgomery.
I agree. I think the ceiling for that duo is capped. I don't know what Don was thinking about taking Montgomery so early. It's a bad
And
play in
then
my
even
opinion.
then, you could say that the wide receivers there's a div too with Jefferson, Marv,
Yeah,
over Puka
compare.
and Debo.
I
Devontae
agree.
does beat Thielen.
Yeah, by a mile. And speaking again, AJ Brown just beat somebody. Jesus, touchdown
Oh,
Eagles. Give it to him. I'm about to go eat a Philly cheesesteak right now. But
oh,
wow, I'm looking here. Who do you have for this one, Dan? This is a tough get. I think we always came to consensus on this, by the way. I don't think we had. Oh no, we did have different grades. I forgot. Oh crap, we did have different grades. Uh, hmm. I put that in my notes though. But I'm
I do
looking
think
here.
Kev takes it. I think there's a
Wow.
big difference in the defenses. I think
Yeah,
there's
that
a
is
big
true.
difference in the quarterback and then the running backs.
Yeah, Caleb Williams versus Tennessee. Tennessee isn't all that, but
That is his first game out there too.
yeah, Kev has three elite quarterbacks that you could all say is better than Caleb. But Kev doesn't outscore Dom in the quarterback department. That's bad coaching. He played the wrong quarterback. Cause
Yeah.
at least one of them will outscore Caleb. And then the Jets defense for San Fran's a tough get. And then Kev got Minnesota versus New York. You know Danny
Right.
Dimes good for a couple turnovers. So I am going Kev there. We do agree on that one. So Kev gets a W and Dom gets the L for week one. All right.
The
Next
next one
matchup.
we have is Bidham and Sway.
Vitamin Sway here. That's a quarterback diff if I ever seen one. We got Deshaun Watson versus Josh Allen. Deshaun Watson versus Dallas, by the way, and then
Yeah, I want to say that's almost a 10 point
Josh
difference in my
Allen
book.
versus Arizona. Yeah, it's projected for 7 points, but I think it could be 10 points, like you said. That's a huge diff. I'm looking at the running backs. I see a diff there as well. I don't think the wideout differential is enough to compensate. Sway also has the tight end advantage. I think Bidham does have him beat in the flex, but I
Yes.
mean, I don't think that's enough. Kansas
But
City
who
versus.
knows with Russell Wilson and Atlanta's new secondary? You never know. That might
That
be
is
a tough matchup for them.
that is true. So I'm just looking here. Sway's projected to win by 9. I got Sway winning easy.
Yeah, I think it's a blowout.
All right, so we got Sway getting the dub here. Now we're looking at Bidham. That's an L. Now we're going with who is it? Me and
You
Jake.
and Jake
Tough one. Tough one indeed here.
might be
Jake's
our game of
projected
the
to win by
week.
2. I think it is the game of the week. Should I do game of the week as well? I could do a tab for game of the week.
We could, we could.
Yeah, I'd go put a note. So game of the week we're doing uh, week 1. We got me versus Jake. All right.
All right, so we have Kyler versus Jordan Love. Me personally,
Interesting
I
one.
think that's about as even as you can get given the matchups.
I
Love as
agree.
Philadelphia, a little easier matchup than Buffalo.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Um,
no, no, we're not slandering them birds.
I do think you diff him significantly in the running back position if McCaffrey plays week one.
Yeah, McCaffrey and Connor versus Derrick Henry and Mixon. Derrick Henry and Mixon is a solid duo, but McCaffrey's just different. McCaffrey and anyone is probably different that duo. I ain't gonna lie to you. McCaffrey's just him. Now we look at wideouts.
St. Brown clears Nico, but then Evans and Diggs clear Allen and Deontay.
I agree. I think it's a wash at tight end.
Yes.
Kincaid versus Kittle. Kincaid has a better matchup in my opinion, but Kittle is known for some Monday Night Miracles. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. The flex, I do
Flex.
think Jerome Ford is a little underprojected as of right now.
I do agree. He's
Um,
projected for 11.9. Rashad White's
but I do
projected for
think
17.
Rashad White has a great matchup.
I do agree with that as well. I think Rashad White definitely clears Ford. No doubt about it. And then
And
defense.
then
Two
defenses are a
solid
wash as
defenses.
well, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Saints versus Carolina and Dallas versus Cleveland are two washes. I need Ford to have a great week because that could hurt Jake even more. Every time he scores a touchdown, Dallas is losing some points and then I'm gaining some. So, hmm. Who do you have here, Dan?
I think it comes down to McCaffrey and St. Brown.
Hmm.
Over your head is crazy.
And I'm going to give it to St. Brown. I think Jake takes it.
Hmm.
McCaffrey hasn't practiced. We'll see. Hopefully, he practices before the week starts. He
No,
has till Monday.
truthfully speaking, I just want to say I'm going 11-0. But I mean,
Oh,
I'm a defer. I'm a defer. I can see Jake getting this one. It's a tough get, but I think that will be the game of the week. Uh, so I'll take an L there. Now we got Trey versus Mike.
Trey versus Mike. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, this is like a blowout. All right, so you have
Uh,
Mahomes versus Stroud.
hmm.
Then you have Taylor and Barkley versus Jacobs and Javante Williams. I got Taylor and Barkley clearing that by a significant amount.
Hmm.
CD is playing for Trey, and then you got DK Metcalf at that wide receiver one for Mike. So CD takes that. Um, you could say Zay Flowers, Jerry Judy versus Tank Dell, and Lad McConkey is kind of a wash in my opinion.
I think Zay Flowers gets a huge revenge game against KC.
Oh,
I like Zay Flowers a lot against KC. I think he definitely gets
All
a
right.
TD. I'm gonna go look at underdog props on that game and take Zay Flowers. Uh,
Then you got Kelsey versus Ferguson. Kelsey clears. And then
yeah.
there's Ramir White versus Romeo Dobbs, which I think White clears significantly.
Mhm.
Um, and then San Francisco's defense against the Jets, and then Baltimore's against Kansas City. Both tough matchups, in my opinion.
I agree.
But I
So
have to give
Mike's
the
projected
edge.
to win by 20 points.
Yeah. You think it's closer than that?
I do think it's closer than that, but I am going Mike.
I do too, but I do think the running backs power him through.
Yeah, that running back diff is insane. I like Javante, but I mean Taylor and Barkley is about to get wicked. All right, so that's Mike with a dub, and that's Trey with an L, right?
Yeah.
So according to my notes, the last two should be Chris and Tyleek.
Yep.
Wait, how many W's do you have here? One, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, three, four, five. Somebody got two dubs. Am I getting this right?
You should
Oh,
only have five
one,
wins so far,
two,
or five
three,
matchups.
four, five, six. I have six W's. So let me get this right. Mike, Sway, Jake, you. Oh, I got Sway's name in here twice. What the heck? Okay.
Ew.
That's what it was. Okay.
That's what
All right. So now we got
Just
5 and 5. So Tyleek and
I
Chris,
got.
everything's good to go.
just say you love me without saying
Yep.
you love me.
You know I love you, Sway. Come
So
here.
you got Herbert versus Tua. Herbert has been hurt,
Mhm.
hasn't practiced at all. But they both have soft matchups, I believe, against Las Vegas and Jacksonville.
I agree.
All right. So I would say that's kind of a wash in my opinion.
Mhm.
All right.
The
So then you
interesting
have
part is they got
ETN.
the opposing running backs, right? Oh no, never mind, never mind.
You have ETN and Kamara versus Achan and Stevenson.
Mhm.
Me personally, I'm taking ETN and Kamara.
I agree, but I do like Achan and Stevenson, but I gotta go ETN Kamara. That's definitely like consistency with those two. I think they get a lot of catches.
Yeah.
Uh,
We have the questionable Jamar Chase versus Tyreek Hill. Jamar Chase is still holding out, so that's something to monitor.
huh?
But even though if they both play, it should be close.
Yeah,
And then you have Adams and Cup versus Pittman and Ridley.
guy
I
got
have
Adams and
Adams
Cup.
and Cup.
Yeah, got to.
And Joku versus Komet.
Got to go in Joku, right? Just got to.
Mm-hmm. And then Scary Terry versus Xavier Worthy. You got Scary
That's a tough
Terry.
rookie matchup. Yeah. Excuse me.
And then you have the Cleveland defense against Dallas. And
Uh-huh.
then Chris has the Giants defense against Minnesota.
Yeah. So Tyleek is projected to win this by 10. And the only thing I'm seeing that's in favor, well, running backs, of course, and that's a huge tight end diff. And they
Yeah.
got the flex diff. I think the wideouts, I don't want to call them a wash, but I think when you add the flex diff, the tight end, the running back edge, and all that, like, I got to go Tyleek here. I'm trying to see if Chris got any better plays on the bench. Maybe Christian Kirk or Jaden Reed
It's
instead of
possible.
Xavier Worthy. Oh, no.
I do think he likes Worthy, though.
Yeah. He needs to tight end. That tight end stuff is nasty.
Yeah.
He had a tight end, he have
I
a
do have
better team.
the edge Tyleek. I think Tyleek takes it.
I do agree. All right. Now we're on week number 2.
All right, so we have Dom versus me.
All right. Should be a whole lot
So
of
we
positive
have
here.
Jalen Hurts versus Caleb. That should be a significant diff, in my opinion.
It should be
Uh, Kyron and Brian Robinson versus Gibbs and Montgomery.
close to a
And as
wash,
of right
but
now, I'm slating them both to start just because I don't see anybody on his bench who he would start over the two.
yeah, he would have to move Najee up, but then he got nobody that could really play that flex spot. It's a bad
Yeah.
squad, Don.
Um, AJ Brown, Rasheed Rice, and Neighbors versus Nakua, Samuel, and Devontae.
Devontae. Mm.
I do say that's pretty even in my
I
opinion.
think it is. I'm trying to think, do I give you the slight edge? But nah, I can't. It's too
Even the
even.
matchups aren't too bad for either team.
Yeah. So right now, in week one, they show us the projections, just so everybody knows. Right now, from week two on, there will be no projections that we will be seeing. But we know the matchups and stuff like that, so we're going by that. I think the tight ends are a wash with Andrews and McBride,
Yeah,
and then we go to the flex. I gotta go you. You even got better flex options. Kachuba can still be really solid. With no Jonathan Brooks for the first month. You
hmm
got Christian Watson there currently. You also got D Hop, but I want to play him against the Jets. Josh Palmer, depending on how well he does week one, that's valid. Seattle's defense versus New England is very nice, and then Dom has the Jets defense versus Tennessee. I would
so
give the
both are
Jets
strong.
defense advantage, but yes, they're both are really good defenses there. Najee's versus Watson. I just got to go you here because the quarterback diff I think is too much, and so is the flex. I think the running
hmm
backs and wideouts are even though.
I agree.
All right, so you got yourself as well.
Yeah,
W to you, L to Dom. Dom, you're 0-2 to start right now, my boy. You're 0-2 to start. This is not a good
2
look.
and 9. Let's see.
All right, next matchup.
It's gonna be Kev versus Bidham.
Kev versus Benham. Uh, okay.
So tough because as of right now, Bidham, you are losing every quarterback battle. It seems.
Yeah. And if
So
I'm
it's Burrow
Kev,
versus Watson or Richardson
Benham
versus
needs a
Watson.
quarterback. If I'm Kev, I'm not trading until they're in the same division, right? So they should play in week
Yeah,
5 as well. I'm not hitting
yeah.
Benham up until like week 6. Like,
Facts. Let them sink.
yeah. So Burrow at KC is something I really like. I think that could be a shootout.
Yeah.
He also got Jaden Daniels
Um.
versus New York. So either way, I like both of those a lot.
Even Richardson in Green Bay is a good one.
Yeah,
Uh. Yeah, Pacheco and Jalen Warren versus James Cook and Kenneth Walker.
I gotta go. Kev's running backs.
I do too. I don't think the matchups really matter in those ones.
Hmm.
Then you have Jefferson and Marv versus Wilson or Garrett Wilson and DJ Moore.
Oh, no, I like Wilson. I like Moore, but I gotta go Jefferson and Marv.
Dang.
Well, those are tough matchups. Though San Fran is a
Do
tough
you
get.
do you feel Sam Darnold has a good game against San Fran or a
Yeah.
bad one? He
Well,
was
that's
their
a
backup.
revenge game. Yeah, that's a revenge game. That could be an interesting pop off for Sammy.
It's either that or he goes sees ghosts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be really good or really bad. I don't see anything in between for that one. Uh,
Me personally, I like Wilson and DJ Moore better.
Yeah, for the matchups, I like Wilson at Tennessee and I like DJ Moore at Houston. I could see that being a shootout on Sunday night. Um, and then the Waddle versus Thielen at wide receiver 3 should be a massacre.
Yeah,
Should be a massacre.
and it's
Uh,
tough because he has nobody else, in my opinion.
yeah.
You could go Darnell Mooney if he plays well enough, but that's still risky as well.
Then you got George Pickens versus Raheem Mostert. That's an interesting flex matchup.
Yeah,
Well, so they got the tight end ones. You got Ingram at Cleveland and Dallas Goddard
I
at
think
Atlanta.
Ingram clears him pretty clearly, but that's my opinion.
That's fair, I guess. Um, wow. Ah, man.
I don't think the quarterback diff is enough for Bidham to lose the game, in my
I
opinion.
was thinking the same thing. Cause like Watson at Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I think is an easy defense. That makes sense. Like, I don't think
Yeah,
they're gonna be a tough game. I don't think they're bad, but it's not gonna be like Jacksonville got like 3 picks on this man, and like
I feel
barely got
like
the
as long
150
as he
yards.
puts up
18.
16 to 18 points, then
Yeah,
he'll be okay.
yeah, I agree. I do agree.
So I got Bidham.
Should be interesting. So Bidham gets a W there. Kev gets the L. Now we're on to our next one. Me versus Tyleek.
No, Sway versus Montana.
All right.
Ooh, this is looking like a game of the week too. Some
Let's
nice
see.
lineups right here.
It is looking really, really nice. Josh Allen at Miami versus Lamar at Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yes. Both should be pop off weeks. Josh Allen
Yes.
got a primetime game. I'm going to just call it a wash, but man, those
You
should
got
be.
the two best running backs on different lineups, Brees Hall versus Bijan.
Excuse me? McCaffrey
I
retired?
said what I said.
I ain't get the
I
notification
said what I
McCaffrey
said.
just retired.
I said what I said.
Yeah, but Hall and Bijan are two really good matchups. That's going to be fun to watch. We
Swift
got
and Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones at San Fran is kind of tough. Swift is prime time versus Houston, but Swift is
Yeah.
ass. I think
I do
I'm
think
just
that's
gonna
a
call it a
battle of
wash.
mid right there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call it a wash. So right now I got 3 washes,
Mhm. I
two
think
top
London
five
and Olave
quarterbacks.
is a
Yeah,
wash as well.
I agree with that. Now we got Cooper versus Ayuk. Is that a wash?
I you would hope yeah, I
Ayuk should
think
have
at
a
this
bounce
point
back
it is
though,
a
right?
wash. Because I don't think Ayuk is ready at this point.
Mm.
I think he's still got to ramp up. I think we'll be okay by week 4.
All right. We got Chris Godwin versus T Higgins. Is that a wash?
Yes.
Wow. T Higgins at KC and then Chris Godwin at Detroit. I could see both those being some high scoring affairs. Now we also got Sam Laporta versus Kyle Pitts. Sam Laporta versus Tampa Bay and then Kyle Pitts at Philly. I got Laporta on that, so that's the first
Yeah.
edge. We're giving the first edge of this whole entire thing to Sway now. Now we're looking at the
I do think
flexes.
too Laporta is a homebody, so if that trend continues, then that's a
Is he a
significant edge.
homebody or is it Jared Goff? All right, and then it might be Goff, and now we're like just getting bamboozled. That's Laporta too. It could be
Could be.
Goff. Yeah. Okay, he is the one in L.A. Now we got Addison versus Coleman. Is there any better plays? Maybe Zach Moss, depending on how he does in week 1.
It could, but Kansas City's defense is tough against the run, in my opinion.
Fair. I don't like Addison against San Fran. I'm gonna say that right now. So does he go
I don't see anybody
Singletary or
else he would
Gus
start though.
Edwards? I don't
Maybe
think Gus
Singletary.
Gus Edwards at Carolina, Singletary at Washington.
I think either way, because you could also say Jamison Williams against Tampa Bay as well.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
still
Yeah,
think that this is very even,
I agree.
no matter what flex you put.
And then defense, he has KC right now against Cincy. That's a tough defense
Pittsburgh should
against
clear
Denver.
though
Yeah, I don't think there's
significantly.
anybody even on the waivers Sway could pick up to try to cover that. I don't think he would
Yeah,
drop KC, but he might drop Hunter Henry, who I don't know why he got on the squad. But
yeah. In
um,
my opinion, this is my game of the week.
yeah, I'm gonna go Sway Montana game of the week, week 2,
Hmm.
and I am going with. I'm gonna go. Who got the tight end advantage? Sway. I'm gonna give it to Sway.
I'm gonna give it a Sway because he has more ways to get there. If Atlanta has a bad game at all,
Yeah.
it's tough on Montana because then the whole offense suffers, and he
hmm
has 3 players.
So Montana's 0-2 to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Next one
Uh,
is Trey versus Jake.
Trey versus Jake.
Thank y'all. I know I drafted a great team.
You're
Y'all ain't
yapping.
Oh my
Sway, sit there
goodness.
in silence. Oh my goodness. You came back to yap. No, you're 2-9, just like Don. All L's rest of the Alright, so I'm looking at this
So you
Trey
got
versus
Stroud at
Drake.
home against Chicago, and then Love versus the Colts.
Yeah. I like both
And in my
those
opinion,
matchups.
this is closer than people think.
Yeah, I got it even.
Yeah. Um. Then we got Derrick Henry and Joe Mixon versus Jacobs and Javante.
Got to go Henry and Joe on that.
I do too.
Javante versus Pittsburgh, I think, is a tough get. Uh, now we got
Yeah.
Lamb versus St. Brown.
Uh. I say that should be a wash. In my
It
opinion,
should
that's a
be. I
tie.
will actually be close to giving the edge, but based on the matchup, to St. Brown.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna call it a wash because Lamb versus New Orleans could be tough with Lattimore over there, and then St. Brown versus Tampa Bay. He's gonna be in the slot, so I think St. Brown could just get off against pretty much any team. We got Zay Flowers and Jerry Judy versus Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson.
I will say I do like Allen and Johnson better, but it is close.
I think it's a wash, but yeah, I'm gonna go wash. We have so let me look.
Kelsey versus Kittle.
Yeah, Kelsey versus Kittle. Kittle at Minnesota, and then Kelsey at Cincinnati.
I like Kelsey a lot in that matchup.
A lot. I think it's close. I'm gonna go Kelsey though, but I think that is close. Uh,
Once again, Rashad White kills the flex.
yeah, Rashad White flex differential. Romeo Dobbs, and he has nobody else really, right? AD Mitchell could be okay, but I think Josh Downs be back by week 2.
Hmm.
Uh, and then he has nobody else. Like he's not even using his IR spot. He got Kendra Miller, who's on IR, who really should be on waivers, but that's a different story. Kendrick
Yeah,
Bourne, who's out. Like maybe you pick somebody else up. I'm looking at the flex spot. It's a kill at the flex.
yeah. And then to me, both defenses thrive.
Yeah, yeah. So
Both at home.
I gotta go Jake here. Baltimore and Dallas defenses are both really good against
Yeah,
subpar
I got
offenses.
Jake as well.
So all right. So that was Trey, right? Trey with the L, Jake with the dub.
Yeah.
All right, so we got two more matchups, right?
So it's
Me
you versus Tyleek.
and then Mike and Chris after. That's
Yeah.
what I got in my notes. All right, cool. Everything's panning out. All right, me and Tyleek.
So Kyler versus Herbert. I give Kyler the edge.
Okay, I think it's close though because I think Herbert, Carolina. I don't know. They should be
The
able to do
defense is
something.
soft.
And defense isn't
But maybe
like
that is one
fearful.
of those games where they do get their run going.
And that makes sense. Yeah. All right, running
All right,
backs.
and then McCaffrey and ETN. McCaffrey. I
Connor
think
versus
Connor and
Kamara.
Kamara will be close.
Yeah.
Uh, Chase beats Nico in this. But I like Evans and Diggs better than Pittman and Ridley.
That's fair, especially
Ridley
Ridley
has the
versus the
Jets.
Jets. That's a tough get. Yeah, and D Hop might be back by week 2, so like,
Plus, Pittman might get Jair.
oh yeah, could get spooky out there.
I
Uh,
like Kincaid better over Njoku.
yeah, especially Kincaid on prime time versus Miami. I think Kincaid scores a TD that week.
I do like McLaurin against the Giants,
That's fair.
but still the rookie is starting out new. Um,
Jerome Ford at Jacksonville, or I could go Chase Brown at KC, depending on how he does week 2. I
yeah.
still don't think I'm gonna play BTJ yet. I'm gonna keep that man tucked away. You feel me?
And then I like Cleveland's defense better than New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans is just a 1 week thing though, but I understand.
Hmm.
Them boys getting dropped after this week. Their schedule gets brutal. That's what makes them
But
look
other
really
than
good.
that, I got you for the win.
I like it. Can't start 0-2. You know I did do it last year, but not again. Tyleek takes the L. I take the dub. And now we got Mike versus Chris.
All right. So you got Tua against Buffalo,
Hmm.
and then Mahomes against Cincinnati. I like Mahomes
Um,
significantly better.
yeah,
Um, Taylor and Barkley versus Achan and Stevenson. I like Taylor and Barkley.
I agree. I mean Taylor Barkley. I just started thinking like that might be the only one that could beat my RB duo of McCaffrey and Connor. Okay, McCaffrey's really like that, and then it's like Connor's good
I
enough,
wondered.
but we'll see based on the matchups when I play Mike. But now we got Tyreek Hill versus DK. I gotta go Tyreek there.
Yeah, even
Then
though
we got
Tyreek did have two matchups last year that were tough against Buffalo.
hmm, interesting.
Like they weren't like pop offs to where they're like
Yeah,
over 20 points. I guess.
I didn't remember that. Let's look here.
Um,
10 points
but
and
either
then 21 against the last week. But
either way, the wide receiver difference is huge in my opinion.
yeah, Adams, Cup, Tyreek versus DK, Tank Dell, and Lab McConkey. I'm liking Chris wideout diff right here a whole lot. But Tank Dell could
Yeah,
get the pop off week here against Chicago, right? Like
yeah.
maybe eat from the slot. I don't know. Tank Dell will have some weeks where he's the number one wideout on the Texans. I hope it's
Um,
never, but yeah,
Ferguson versus Komet. I got it Ferguson, even though I think that is a tough matchup for tight ends. New Orleans.
I agree. I wonder what Ben
Um,
Simmons doing by now. Granted, it's only 1 week, but New York Giants is a softer matchup, I think. And then flex, Zamir White is tough against Baltimore.
yeah, I think that's a wash matchup. I think you should probably start Jaden Reed against Indy. I don't know. I
Over
think he
Xavier
has more
Worthy.
options.
Oh yeah, I think Chris got more options. Yeah, uh, I think Chris can't go wrong really. I even
Yeah.
like Christian Kirk against the Browns. Cause Denzel, I expect to be on the outside.
Worthy would be a smart play because if Worthy does pop up, then that means Mahomes' points are kind of negated,
Ah
you know?
yeah, yep, I agree.
Uh, I do give this matchup to Chris. I think the wide
I
receiver
agree.
difference is
Yeah,
pretty
that's
significant.
drastic.
Whereas with the running backs, it's not as significant.
Hmm. He's gonna need Miami to show up. That's all I
Yeah.
gotta say since he got 3 Miami players. So we got Mike with the L, Chris with the dub. So right now we're all in sync. Okay. Week 3.
All right. So it's me versus Tyreek.
All right.
So you have Jalen Hurts in New Orleans, and then Justin Herbert in Pittsburgh.
You gotta go Hurts there easy. Might be +8,
Yeah.
+10 points.
And then Kyron and Brian Robinson versus ETN and Kamara.
I don't
How does
like
Philly do
Kyron too
against
much
the
at San Fran.
against
Let's
running backs?
uh we do good against the run, but we give up a whole lot of catches to him.
Oof.
Uh
So
Kyron had
then
28 points against San Fran the last time they played. That's tough.
I probably do have Tyreek's running backs in over mine.
That's fair. That's just a slight edge. I
Uh,
don't think it's too crazy. It'd probably be even right
yeah,
now because the quarterback difference kind of large.
yeah.
All right.
AJ Brown versus Jamar Chase, and then Rasheed Rice and Malik Neighbors versus Pittman and Ridley.
Chase should have the edge
Yeah,
because
I will say though, I do
Washington's
have tough
poverty.
matchups.
Neighbors versus Cleveland is tough. Pittman should have a bounce back week. He can't be ass all his life. Why is Christian Watson running down the field? Why is he this wide open? I didn't see what happened. Uh, hmm. Let's see. Is there anybody else? I would give you the. I'm gonna call that a wash. Let's go to tight end.
Mhm.
I like McBride over Njoku, but I think Njoku could have a good week. I don't think the Giants are all that, but McBride versus Detroit, I think that could be a shootout, like 35-31, something.
Yeah.
So I like McBride a lot there. Let's look at flex. I like Christian Watson at Tennessee.
Hmm.
Uh, McLaurin, I just like period. But at Cincinnati, I think it's an okay matchup. It's not too crazy, but uh, I might just call it a wash. But I think Watson has a pop off advantage, and then Cleveland. The defense matchup is insane. Neither one of your defense got a favorable one. Atlanta at
Yeah.
KC, and then Seattle at Miami, where
Yeah. I'm about to go find somebody.
Tyreek has Cleveland at New York Giants. So Daniel Jones, I mean, how many turnovers? Is it fair for me to say this man Daniel Jones is getting 25 turnovers this season? I think I want to see what under. Nah, Vegas doesn't have that high because
It's.
they
I
probably
don't
got him
think
getting
that's
benched.
bad because, like,
That's 1.5 a game.
yeah, 34 is two a game, and I think he's set for two
Oh my
a game.
goodness.
Um, I'm gonna say Talik sneaks one from you for right now.
mm, I will agree. Tyreek. So that's week 3, right? Tyreek is the W,
Yeah.
and then you get the L. Okay.
Next is Binham and Dom.
All right.
All right, so we have Deshaun Watson versus Caleb. Deshaun gets the Giants. Caleb is away against the Colts. So that's an even matchup in my opinion.
I agree. I bet 17
Uh,
from both. 16, 20, somewhere between there. Okay.
Gibbs and Montgomery are on the road against Arizona. And then Pacheco gets Atlanta. Jalen Warren gets home against the Chargers. I like Pacheco and Warren.
I think it's a
You
wash
seem to
because I
think.
think that's going to be a shootout in
Uh
Detroit, Arizona. So I think those running backs should combine for 2 TDs. And
huh.
then, of
Okay.
course, some
Okay.
catches.
Uh, Garrett Wilson versus Puka. They both kind of have tough matchups.
Yeah, Puka at San Fran, Garrett Wilson at New England.
Hmm.
I like primetime Garrett, though.
Ooh, I do think all these receivers are even though. DJ Moore versus Debo, and then Waddle versus Devontae.
Yeah, that's all even. That's a complete wash from top to bottom.
I do think the tight ends are even.
Ingram at Buffalo, Mark Andrews at Dallas. That's fair.
Um, George Pickens versus Najee.
The teammates at the flex spot, both against the Chargers.
In my opinion, that's a wash as well. And
I
then you
agree.
have the
I'm trying to see if they
Jets.
got some other flex options. If that makes sense.
Mm.
And I don't see anything
We
too
could see
crazy.
JSN start to emerge at this point.
Yeah, JSN against Miami could be solid. Cause DK will have Ramsey on them, and they got history from back in the when Ramsey's on the Rams. So Ramsey knows how to guard them.
But I do think
JSN could pop
Pickens
off.
is the elite option still.
That's fair. Uh, and then defense, Jets against New England, I think could get wicked.
Yeah.
You got Chicago against Indy. I don't think it's gonna get wicked. I'm gonna give Dom the W here. I think everything's even until we get down to the defense. And I think this is the game of the week.
Hmm. I agree.
So you agree with both? Game of the week,
Yeah.
so week 3 is Dom versus Bidham.
Yeah.
And we got Bedham getting the L, Dom getting the dub. All right, Dom, you got one more W, bro. 2-9. You know the rules. All right, who's next?
Okay, so we have Kev versus Montana.
Kev versus Montana. Let me get my portable charger real quick. Kev versus Montana. I'm there.
So
All
Lamar versus Burrow.
right.
Uh, Lamar goes to Dallas. Burrow plays Washington at home.
Lamar goes to
So I do have
Dallas.
Burrow there, although Lamar does do well against
hmm
NFC teams.
Here we go. Well, he ain't doing well against the Eagles. So, I mean, just get
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I do have Burrow there. Primetime game Burrow should light them boys up. I don't know. Cincinnati's
Then
still
we
here.
have Bijan and Switch versus James Cook and Kenneth Walker.
I actually prefer Kev's running backs there.
Yeah, I do.
Jefferson versus London is a massacre. Harrison versus IU.
What happened?
Harrison's in Detroit. I got to take
Then
him
go
over
pee.
Ayuk and the
Yeah.
Rams. And then T. Higgins versus Vegas. The interesting thing about that matchup, if Burrow's throwing TDs to Higgins, that hurts.
Go,
Yeah.
go. Go pee. Hurry up.
Kev needs a third wideout, something serious, bro.
Yeah, we will pray for you, Kev.
Tight end,
Uh,
I like Kyle Pitts at KC versus
Then
Dallas
get
Goddard at New
go.
Orleans.
I feel like this is a tough matchup for the Falcons.
Mm. Think they get exposed on Sunday night? You remember Kirk Cousins had the horrible primetime record stuff?
Yeah.
Mm.
He
I don't
had
expect the
one like
Falcons
good
to win the
prime time
game.
game last year enough.
Yeah, I want to say they
Oh,
beat the Niners on prime time because Mike
yeah.
and Jake went to that game in Minnesota. And why are my Eagles losing? Oh, this is a fake. Oh, this
And
simulation is going bad.
then I got Raheem over Keon Coleman. You could say Zach Moss or Jamison Williams are probably going to play. Um, but I like Raheem better.
That's fair.
And
Uh,
then finally, Pittsburgh gets the Chargers, and then
hmm
Minnesota gets Houston. Got to give it to Pittsburgh.
definitely.
With all said,
I'm going Kev.
I am as well.
Cause we ain't even look at Kev's other matchup quarterbacks. Do you see his other quarterbacks? Montana is 0-3 to
Richardson
start.
against Chicago, and then
Yeah,
Jalen Daniels against Cincinnati.
yeah. I'm playing Burrow. Montana, you are 0-3. You got to get it together, dog. Like, so when does Montana make the trade when he starts 0-3?
I think he knows that he needs to make one before the season starts, but we'll see if he pulls the trigger. If so, it's gonna be by week one. And
Too many dang dirty birds, bro.
then
All
we
right,
got
next matchup.
Slay versus Mike.
My bad. You said who?
Slay versus Mike.
All right.
So you got Josh Allen's versus Mahomes.
Mm. Two favorable matchups bounced, and they're both primetime games. Mahomes on Sunday night, Josh Allen's on Monday night. But I'm taking Allen with a
Yeah,
slight
both city.
edge against the Jaguars.
Okay.
You got an even there?
Yeah.
That's fair. Uh, Brees Hall and Aaron Jones versus Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley. And based on the matchups, I gotta go JT and Barkley. I think they're tougher matchups, but I mean, I just think JT and Barkley are just them.
Yeah.
It's a tough get.
Yeah, I
Um,
do agree. Um, yeah. Mike, it's tough because I hate your wide receiver one. I always will
yeah,
because he's a
DK
wide receiver
Metcalf.
too.
Yeah, he hasn't been. He got worse and worse like every season. It seemed like ever since he broke
Yeah.
out. Um, So I gotta go Olave over Metcalf.
I have Cooper over Dell,
I agree. And I
and
have
then
Godwin over McConkey.
yeah,
And I have Laporta over
then
Ferguson.
yep,
So I'm just gonna go ahead and say right now I got Jake. I mean not Jake Sway. My bad.
I got Sway
KC
as
over
well.
Atlanta. And
I think Sway starts the season in dominant fashion. You hate to
wow,
hear it.
you really do. But I will not lie. I did think this man had a really good draft. I heard he auto drafted though.
No.
Don't quote me. Don't
Get the
quote me.
fuck out of here.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
Get out of here.
All right, what's the last matchup?
Sources you say. We have two more matchups.
Oh, two more. All right, let me look at my
Yeah, so
notes.
we
Make
have
sure I
Trey
got full.
versus you.
All right, and then we got Jake and Chris. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I got everything lined up. Cool. Let's look here.
Kyler and Stroud both have great matchups in my opinion. Both, but I think it's a tie. I think they both come up with the same
Yeah,
amount of
because
points.
Stroud against Minnesota, and then Murray versus Detroit. I agree. That's a tie. Running
Uh,
backs.
I think McCaffrey and Connor kill Jacobs and Javante Williams.
I agree. I think that's like a 10-point boost to me. Wideouts. You got C.D. Lamb, but they got a tough matchup against Baltimore. You got Zay
Yeah,
Flowers. I think that's a tough matchup against Dallas.
yeah. I
I
like
got
Nico,
yeah.
and
I got
plus you have
Nico.
Nico
He
and
can't
Diggs.
beat me.
So
He can't beat me. Yeah, every
yeah,
time Stroud throws a TD, bro, like he needs a pop off week from Tank Dell because I got Nico and Diggs. So it's like I was trying to get the quarterback from this man. I tried to get Stroud from him. I wanted to do a trade, but it wasn't budging. But all right, that's that.
well,
And
it's
then
all right because we solidified the win for you from this
yeah,
week.
all right, yeah, we could just stop right there when I saw that. I ain't even gonna lie to you. We could just stop right there when I saw that nonsense. Uh,
And then Jake versus Chris.
dang Trey, that's three L's in a row. You got to fight back as well. Jake versus Chris. Okay.
Okay, so Love and Tua.
Love and Tua.
Love is on the road against Tennessee.
Hmm.
Tua is on the road against Seattle.
That's a tough get going from East to West Coast like that. And I ain't even gonna lie
Yeah,
to you.
I got Love.
Yeah.
Um, Henry and Mixon versus Achan and Stevenson.
Got to go Henry and Mixon.
Interesting. I got
Because
Achan and Stevenson.
here's why I got to go. Stevenson against the Jets sounds tough. But let me see how Stevenson did it last year against the Jets.
But I think Henry against Dallas is
He had
tough.
7 points, and then he didn't play the second time. Here's why I think Henry versus Dallas is doable. I don't think you guys get shut out versus the NFC. So we were saying how the matchup was
Hmm.
tough for Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers and stuff. So like I think y'all move the ball somehow. You feel me?
Yeah,
So I mean, and I think when you guys score TDs, I think Derrick Henry will be the culprit. Uh, but we got St. Brown and Tyreek Hill. That's a
yeah,
even one. Tyreek versus Seattle, and then St. Brown at Arizona.
yeah,
I might give a slight edge to St. Brown, but it's tough to bet against Tyreek, so I'm just gonna call it even. Now we got Keenan Allen and Deontay Johnson versus Devontae Adams and Cooper Cup.
I got Adams and Cup.
I agree, and I like Allen and Johnson a lot as a 2-3 wideout mix, especially with Allen versus Indy. That's in a dome, and then we
Hmm.
got Deontay Johnson at Vegas. That's another dome team, not that good, but I gotta go Adams and Cup. They could pop off.
And here comes Jake coming back strong. So you got
Yeah,
Kittle versus Komet and
slosh.
Rashad White versus Xavier Worthy.
Rashad White's just a consistent flex play. That's a killer flex, man.
Yeah,
That is a killer flex. And then defense, he has Dallas. He also has Miami at Seattle. That might be the move, honestly. Miami at Seattle. And then New York
yeah,
Giants at Cleveland. Detroit at Arizona. He got to change out his defenses. I don't know why he got the New
yeah.
York Giants defense. That is wicked work.
No, they do. They are supposed to have a good pass rush this year,
Yeah, I like Brian Burns. He got Kayvon Thibodeau in the defensive
and
dynasty league.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence is nice. Uh,
Um,
I'm going Jake.
I'm going Jake because I think Miami has a tough matchup against Seattle, in my opinion.
I agree. And Chris got three of them. So, similar to Montana. Stacking in
Yeah,
a tough
whenever they
matchup.
have a tough one, it's
Yeah.
going to be tough to go for that team.
So, Jake gets the dub there. That's the last matchup of that week, right?
Yeah.
All right. We might have time for one more. This game just ended. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut this video off right here. So, after 3 weeks, guys, what we have is Dom is 1-2. Bidum is 1-2. Kev is 2-1. Sway is 3-0. Montana is 0-3. Dan is 2-1. I am 2-1. Trey is 0-3. Jake is 3-0. Mike is 1-2. Tyleek is 2-1. And Chris is 1-2. And then our game of the weeks are Jake versus me in week 1. Week 2 we got Sway versus Montana. And week 3 we had Dom versus Bidum. So those are our game of the weeks. And those are the records. So that's probably a third of the way. The next 2 times we do this, we will try to do 4 weeks. So do week 4 to 7, and then do week 8 to 11 on the next videos. So we're gonna end this video here, and we're gonna go back with the next one.